Stop scrolling, because CNN just hit a new low. Van Jones mocked Charlie Kirk's death on live TV, but Bongino wasn't having it. His response didn't just silence Van Jones. It left CNN completely humiliated. The narrative you've described appears to stem from a highly charged and tragic event that unfolded in early September 2025, centered around the assassination of conservative activist and Turning Point USA founder Charlie Kirk. On September 10, 2025, Kirk was fatally shot during an event in Utah, an incident that sent shockwaves through political circles and sparked intense debates about media responsibility, incitement, and hypocrisy. The story revolves around comments made by CNN commentator Van Jones just one day prior, on September 9, 2025, during a CNN panel discussion about the murder of Ukrainian refugee Irina Zarutska in Charlotte, North Carolina. What followed was a fierce response from conservative commentator Dan Bongino, who used his platform to call out perceived double standards at CNN. This exchange, amplified across social media and conservative outlets, turned into a broader moment of reckoning for many observers, highlighting divisions in American media and politics. Below, I'll break down the events in detail, drawing from reports, videos, and public reactions to provide a comprehensive overview. To understand the context, we need to start with the catalyst. On or around September 8, 2025, Irina Zarutska, a Ukrainian refugee, was brutally stabbed to death on a light rail train in Charlotte. Surveillance footage captured the suspect, DeCarlos Brown, repeatedly saying, "I got that white girl," after the attack, which led many, including Charlie Kirk, to interpret the killing as racially motivated. Kirk, known for his outspoken conservative views and campus debates, addressed the incident on his podcast and social media, arguing that the racial element was evident and criticizing media outlets for downplaying it. He emphasized justice for Zarutska and tied it to broader discussions on crime and race in America. Kirk's remarks were part of his signature style, provocative, direct, and aimed at challenging what he saw as liberal biases in coverage of interracial violence. In one of his final posts before his death, Kirk reaffirmed his Christian faith and advocated for accountability, even responding to early criticisms. This set the stage for the CNN panel, where Van Jones entered the fray. During a CNN segment hosted by Abby Phillip on September 9, 2025, the discussion focused on the Zarutska murder and reactions from social media influencers. Van Jones, a former Obama advisor and prominent CNN contributor, used the opportunity to criticize Kirk directly. Jones accused Kirk of race-mongering and engaging in racial hate-mongering by injecting race into the story without sufficient evidence, despite the suspect's own recorded statements. Jones argued that figures like Kirk were exacerbating divisions, and that their commentary was irresponsible, especially in a climate of heightened tensions. In the heated exchange, Jones stated something to the effect of, "Someone like Charlie Kirk, he should be ashamed of himself," framing Kirk's analysis as exploitative and inflammatory. Critics, particularly on the right, interpreted this as not just disagreement, but a personal attack that mocked or belittled Kirk's efforts to highlight what they saw as a clear racial injustice. The remarks aired just 24 hours before Kirk's assassination, leading many to draw a direct line between Jones' words and the subsequent violence. Conservative outlets like One America News Network, OANN, and the Post-Millennial labeled Jones' comments as bashing Kirk as a race-monger, amplifying the narrative that they were disrespectful and potentially inflammatory. Viewers and online commentators were indeed stunned, as you described. Social media erupted with accusations that Jones had crossed the line, with posts calling his words outrageous and predicting backlash. For instance, X, formerly Twitter, users shared clips of the CNN segment, with one viral post stating, "Van Jones spent last night trashing Charlie Kirk and inciting violence against him. Today, Charlie is dead. Fuck you, Van. You absolute human garbage." Another highlighted, "Van Jones has blood on his hands for the evil comments about Charlie he made on air, just days before they killed him." These reactions framed Jones' critique as more than policy disagreement. It was seen as mocking a figure who was out there debating and proving people wrong, as Kirk often did under banners like, "Prove me wrong," at his events. The timing was particularly damning. Kirk was assassinated the very next day by 22-year-old Tyler Robinson, who reportedly had an obsession with Kirk based on his digital footprint, according to FBI insights shared by Bongino. While the motive remains under investigation, conservatives quickly pointed to a toxic media environment, with Jones' comments as Exhibit A.